Welcome here, beautiful. I just realized my dryer's going. Give me just a second. Okay, I'm back. I turned it off just for you. Okay, so I actually just did a podcast on this, so I'm gonna hurry this up, and I hope it is encouraging for you. Yes. Moving on. Okay, so whenever I edit this video, I lightly edit. I'm going to try to make that not so bright. Like, that is blinding. I am so sorry. Anyway, wanted to talk about this. Oh, by the way, happy Valentine's Day. And this is actually why this came up, because it's how do we love and serve our family well. And part of that for me is protecting my family's peace. And I just did a podcast episode on it. I'll link it. I'm so sorry. I'll link it below. I had a hiccup. I'll link it below. And also, if you want to befriend me on Facebook, I'm having a launch party for my blog that is going to be paired with my YouTube and my podcast. I'm renaming it. Everything will be officially rebranded and renamed on March 1st. So, it'll be Love and Ponder, Haley Lindbergh. Okay, so protecting our family's peace. So this is what happened. My kids have sensory processing disorder, and if you don't know anything about it, just go research it. And they're with the moon phase cycle, because, you know, whatever. God's the God of order, and, you know, there's a moon. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, I'm a homeschool mom. I swear I know things, okay? I swear I know things. And anyway, with that, there are certain people who are just more sensitive to the pressure and the changes in the linear cycle. So in that, especially my oldest and my husband, it feels like they go crazy. Like, we have a joke that they might be liking. It's just a joke. Anyway, just laugh. Okay, moving on. So, it's like they feel the pressure and like all the things changing. So like I have to prepare my heart, like an older homeschool mom with an Aspie kiddo, who's grown. She actually gave me this advice, and I'd heard it from different people, but once I've been implementing it the last like 3 or 4 full moons, like I'm like, oh my gosh, Lord, like, thank you for these women who spoke this into my life. They gave me the words of life. Thank you. Like, for my motherhood, and let me explain why. The week of a full moon, it's like it's like the pressure and like, anyway, it's a thing. They like turn into crazy people. Like, they have like their emotional regulation is off. They are grumpy. They don't sleep as well. Like, it is just, and in turn that affects me. Okay, so the week of a full moon, like right before full moon, I have to prepare my heart. Like, I have to prepare my heart and my mind, and I have to offer way more grace, offer way more mercy, and just not be as reactionary. So the tools that helped me obviously is stuff like this, but Triggers, the book Triggers. This was very, very helpful for me. I love that book. Because I am a recovering, extremely reactionary, struggle with anger mom. My son actually stuck up for me the other night at dinner because I yelled for the first time the whole day. And my husband was like, seriously? Because he doesn't like that I do that. Like, he heavily rebukes me when I yell a lot, you know, thank God. And my son was like, that is the first time Mom has yelled all day. And I was like, yes, like, even my kids are seeing my growth in this area. Like, I'm so thankful and so excited. I actually have a podcast about struggling with anger as a Christian mom, that you can find on my podcast. I think it's called Angry Mama. Anyway, so with that, because they're acting like crazy people, and I have to like be more graceful and all these things, I asked my kiddos if they wanted to sign up for an activity. This is our third move in a year, transitioning, getting settled in Texas. And they tried gymnastics, and then we moved here to like another area. It was about an hour away from where we were living. And I'm just trying to get them, plugged in so they can meet friends and stuff like that and grow as we're living in Texas and build a life here. So they decided on soccer. So this is what I mean by protect your family's peace. So for us, this is based on habits, routine, and a slower pace of life. So those are some of our family priorities. And are we going to stick to those perfectly? No, but those are, that's the goal, right? So literally yesterday, last night, I signed them up for soccer. So, and I purposely looked for a sport thing that would fit our family priorities. So having a real day of rest, if possible. We push really hard and we fight hard to protect that one day of family and rest and all the things. We try to aim for Sunday. Sometimes it's Saturday, but we pick a day. We want to have that habit, have that discipline, and, focus on slow and rest and enjoying each other as a family and just feeling up for the next week. So I read that our last name was today for like evaluation to get their shirt, to get their socks, all the things that they need to be able to play. So in my mind, I was like, okay, like the full moon is on the 16th. So yesterday was a waxing gibbous. I don't know what today is, but anyway, so they're acting like literally my son had like 3 meltdowns yesterday. Like, and it's funny because like before I would think he was having like behavioral regression, but like just having this one piece of knowledge, like, man, it's like totally transformed my patience with him, my discipline with him, even my daughter, Victoria. Oh my gosh, she was just like crying all day yesterday. And I was like, hurry up, full moon. I'm over it. Anyway. So, and so I picked, so anyway, I went on the website and I was like, okay, do we have to go tomorrow? Because one of the habits that I'm trying to teach my oldest is to be able to pivot well. Like, he doesn't do good with transition. He doesn't do good with change. And I want to teach him how to live in the gray. Like, we live in a world that is gray. And there are certain things that are black and white because we're a Christian family. And there's a lot there for us. There are black and white that align with scripture. But we live in a world of gray. And if you're going to love people well, you need to understand the world of gray, right? Be firm in the black and white, understand in the gray. So, that's what I'm training him in. Okay, my husband as well. So, I looked on the website, and this is perfect because there's only 1 hour practices, and the games are on Saturday, and they're an hour. So, all this stuff is fitting with our family routine, habits, and slower pace of life. So, because I don't like building my home. I want to be rooted in rest, rooted in peace. I don't want to go. Like, building my home, I want this to be a place of, where we practice how to love each other. We're learning how to love God. We're practicing loving each other. We are, we're neighbors. We're practicing how to love our neighbors here in our home. We see the worst of each other. We see the best of each other, and we're just living our best to live that out, right? So we can actually go out into the world and do our best and do it well, to do those things well with our neighbors outside of the home. So in that, I'm like, okay, I'm going to look at the website, and I looked, and we can go Thursday. Oh my gosh, I was so excited. I need a drink of my salted caramel mocha. Okay, so we can go Thursday. The reason why this is important is because we don't pivot. My husband and my son do not pivot well. Me and my daughter are more like the free spirit, like, we'll roll with it kind of people. Okay. And, I had today all planned. Today's Valentine's Day, and I had like from the moment they wake up until the moment they go to bed, I have everything planned. Like even for me and my husband, I have, and this is a big deal. If you know me personally, this is a big deal. Haley is not the romantic. I am not the planner. I don't like, my husband is so, he loves me so well. Like he is so, such a planner. He's very intentional. He's a good gift giver. He's very observant. He's very generous, and he blows me away. Like he loves romantic comedies, and he definitely copies that stuff. Like he's very, very thoughtful. So for me to plan an evening of a cheese cracker and a wine that he likes, like that was I'm so proud of myself. And if you know me personally, you're probably laughing because that is not something that Haley does. Like I'm trying so hard to be more intentional and planning, because I'm like a maturing hot mess, okay? Like this is how the Lord is sanctifying me, is protecting my family's peace. He is sanctifying me by having a husband and a son who need me to bend in this way. My dog's like losing her step. Anyway, she's fine. So moving on. So if we have to not do our evening that I planned as a family to serve them, to fix them their favorite meal, I bought them a surprise cookie cake. They woke up oh my gosh, I've got hiccups. I'm so sorry. They got a Valentine and this and that. We're going to learn about Saint Valentine and how he valued marriage, and he was martyred for that. Like, you know, I have this whole thing in our homeschool day and our lessons to do all these things. And then in the evening, we're going to commence by, I have these special candles I bought from Aldi's. They're called I'm Yours, and it's like butter, chocolate, and something else that I've been lighting all week, just preparing everybody's heart for today. Okay. So I was really bummed about the soccer thing, but it was like, okay, fine, we'll pivot. Like, we're going to roll with it. We're going to do soccer. We're going to go. Well, whenever I saw we could go Thursday, I'm like, oh, that's what we're going to do, which is perfect because it's so much better. Like, and it's the makeup day. So do we have to go today? No. Like, and that's the thing, as the mom, I could be so rigid of like, yes, we have to go today because our last name starts with L. They have to get their shirt. They have to get their socks, blah, 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 blah. Okay. But does that really, if the option of Thursday's there, the option of protecting my family's peace, right? It's there. It's literally right in front of me. So I can either go, you know, not go through with how I intend to love my family well today and everything, which I'm not going to do this perfectly. This happens all the time. Like last night, perfect example. My kids didn't go to bed at their bedtime, which with my oldest is like a big deal. Like, you know, whatever, you got to roll with it. But if I have the option, I'm going to pick that, right? But don't be so tied to this that we can't bend, because it really messes with you too as the mom. And I got this from another YouTuber. I'm going to tag her below. I'm going to, whatever, card, that thing. I'm going to put it there. And she was talking about, how she like, I saw it on one video. I don't know if she says it in multiple, but I just found her. But she was talking about, like, the days that don't go, like, according to the specific routine or whatever, like, because she's not so tied to this. Like, it does give you freedom as a homeschool mom. Like, to have a soft routine. You're not so rigid that you feel like a failure, that you failed somehow as a mom or in your lessons or whatever. But she writes down in her planner like what they actually got done and what they did that day. And I was like, oh my gosh, I want to start implementing that. That's so cool. Like, how encouraging, because you actually see what you got done. So anyway, that was my point. And the reason why this is important, I was watching Justin Peters a couple months ago on YouTube, and I can, you know, if you want, I could put the card right here. But it was very short, it was like 5 minutes, and he was talking about how mental illness is triggered by lack of sleep and lack of routine, which I can testify to that because I have depression, and I had really horrible PPD with my oldest, and I can tell you right now, those were the two main contributors, was lack of sleep and lack of routine. Like, I had such a hard time. I didn't know how to mature in that season. Like, I didn't know how to have a routine with a newborn. And even if I did, Elliot wouldn't have done it because we didn't know he has the thing, we didn't know that he had Asperger's. We didn't know he had SPD. Like, we didn't know any of this stuff. So, like, he was just a baby that really struggled with sleep. Like, y'all, I bought sleep courses. Like, I did all the things, and I could just not get him to sleep. He is 6 years old, and he just now started sleeping through the night. Like, we have always had sleep problems. We co-slept for that reason. But, like, I can see in my own life where lack of sleep and lack of routine contributed to depression, and it still does. Like, and I have to be very vigilant and protect that. And so, like, that's what I just wanted to say was, like, this real life thing just triggered this video. It triggered my podcast to just talk about, like, what do you, and I say this all the time to people that I personally mentor in homeschooling and that I love and I pour out to, what is a priority for y'all as a family? And as best as you can, protect those things. We live in the South. We just moved back to the South, and I can tell y'all right, this is a discussion for a different time, okay? Different time. Sports is a religion here, like, straight up. And I am not going to get caught up in that false religion, okay? I'm just not. I'm not saying anything bad about families who do, but for me, for me and my house, because I'm responsible for me and my house. For me and my house, we will serve the Lord, and what does that look like for us? Like I said, there are black and white things, but we live in a world of gray. And my goal is to pursue the good, the true, and the beautiful. And if you listen to my podcast, I say this all the time, but how do we know what is good? How do we know what is true? And how do we know what is beautiful? By knowing the God who is those things. And he shows us in his word. He shows us, he reveals himself through creation. And our job is to prioritize what we want to prioritize as a family and do our best to do that. Do our best to do that. Are we going to miss the mark? For sure. Like, hello, we're human. But that was one of the best things I learned. And I'm still learning because, like I said, this is my main area of sanctification for me is having a routine but not being so controlled by it that I feel like a failure if we miss it. Having habits and learning habits and building habits and training my children in habits. But if they're struggling or if we miss the mark, not beating myself up about it. Tomorrow, the Lord's mercies are new tomorrow. And a slower pace of life. Like, I want for me in my house, I don't want to be a go, 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 because there will be a season. And that's the thing, there will be seasons. But I don't want to rush that. And if I can protect that and stretch the slow for as long as I can, just teaching my kids to value a slow pace of life. I said this in my podcast, like another real world example would be like at the grocery store. Like, I just started doing this like 6-ish months ago. So this is a brand new thing for me. And hopefully it will help you. It helped me. If I value a slower pace of life, how am I living that out to my children? Okay, so for example, if we're running errands, because I'm a homeschool mom, they go everywhere with me. If I'm running errands, we're doing, like, I do life with my kids, right? They're watching. They're watching. We're doing life together. And am I rushing to do every single thing? Or am I having a heart posture that is showing the habit of valuing and actually living in a space of living a slower pace of life? Okay, so at the grocery store, what this looks like is I stop to discipline. I'm not just like, oh, we got to go to the next aisle and go and ignore the behavior. No, because the habit is obedience. And I need to stop, go through the grocery store slowly if that means to. Does that make sense? Like, I mean, I think last week it took us almost 2 hours to grocery shop because almost every aisle I had to stop and correct behavior. And without yelling, it was fantastic. Praise God. Like, I was so stoked because I've seen so much growth in my own life. Like, for me as a person, the Lord is using my children to sanctify me. He is using the season of homeschooling to sanctify me. And it is so cool. And I love how the Lord has all of this connected. Once again, God of order. Okay. But anyway, that was it. Hope that was beneficial. I'm trying to learn this YouTube thing. And I'm doing it scared, and I'm fumbling through it, and it's fine. And I know who my target audience is, and I just want to love you guys well. I want to love the person in front of me well. And, you know, like Elizabeth Elliot said, just do the next thing. Anyway, I hope that was encouraging for y'all, and I'll catch you in the next video.